Welcome to In the Dugout. I'm Trevor Rogers, joined by Bobby Rose. Today, we have some interesting topics coming your way. We're going to be talking a little more Oklahoma Sooner baseball.
Right, absolutely. Big season for them ahead. Then we'll talk a little high school baseball as well.
Yeah, as well as we got a little buy or sell segment, and then Charging the Mound, which is going to be a little reverse high heat with our producer, Mr. DJ Bradshare.
A new segment we're adding this week, and we're very excited about it.
Yeah, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. You guys are in the dugout. You know, the intro says Mark Jeffries, but it's with DJ Bradshare. DJ is our producer, and he's joining us once again. DJ, it's a beautiful day out there today.
Absolutely gorgeous. It's a banner day, as my dad would say.
It feels like it's about 82 outside.
It's got to be nice. It's a good day. I know, Bobby, you're excited.
Right, absolutely. Today kicks off the NCAA tournament. One of the best days of the year.
Trevor. Yeah, no, it's definitely fun. I'm going to be sitting down watching college basketball all weekend as well. Some more spring training. DJ, what are your plans?
Nothing but basketball and baseball, as you mentioned.
Well, I mean, we're sitting here watching this Syracuse game up here. They're losing at the half.
Barn burner.
Yeah, it's a crazy game right now. Obviously, I guess that Fab Melo loss a little bit more important for Syracuse than we all thought. They're down 4 to the 16 seed at half.
Yeah, well, I don't know. DJ, what do we got? What's our leadoff topic today?
Well, we are leading off with some Oklahoma Sooners talk, some baseball for you. The Oklahoma Sooners, continue to blow leads late in games with recent losses to Dallas Baptist and Oregon State that came down to the 9th inning. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the sense of urgency for the Sooners and all the Sooner fans out there?
Yeah, okay, I was going to take this first.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what you were going to say, yeah. I'm going to put it at about a 6, and here's why. Their offense has been performing great. I mean, their offenses didn't lose a beat from last year or the year before, where they were just racking up the runs with small ball, with power, with, pretty much in every way possible. Their offense has not missed a beat. However, and their starting pitching is starting to come around as well. Their starting pitching has been better over the last few games, obviously, but they're blowing these leads late, and I'll tell you exactly why, and this is why I put it up at a 6. It would be lower if not for the fact that the Sooners lost closer Ryan Duke, who's been, he's been a stabilizing force in that bullpen for the last couple years. I mean, he was arguably one of the 5 best closers in college baseball the last few years. I mean, when you lose a guy like that, it's going to be tough coming back without a solid closer in that role, and I think that's why Oklahoma's been struggling of late.
I'm going to put it about a 6 as well. But losing to teams like Dallas Baptist is a little unacceptable, especially when you're up 3 runs going into the ninth inning.
Right.
Oregon State, that's
a decent loss.
That's a decent loss at Oregon.
And then you beat Oregon.
And then you wind up going on to beat Oregon, who was the number 9 ranked team in the country at the time. But I'd say it's a little bit of inconsistency from the Sooners, It seems like the bats are going to sleep by the 6th inning. They'll jump out to a huge lead before the 6th inning. Then the bats will go to sleep. And
right, but I don't think you can blame that on the offense necessarily.
I mean,
if you're getting out to these huge leads, your pitching staff
I understand it should come down to the pitching
pitching
staff. But if that's going to be how your team, that you don't have a closing staff, you may as well be on a team that's going to be able to run and gun.
They're
until
scoring
the end.
6 or 7 runs a game. Trevor. I don't see.
I understand
how you
that,
can blame the offense.
But still, I'm not entirely. I'm just saying you can't go to sleep, especially if you know that your defense isn't gonna be there. Your pitching isn't gonna be there at the end of the game.
As soon as they find a closer that can step into that role of Ryan Duke, I think the Sooners will be just fine and back to one of the best teams in the Big 12.
I'm not even going to go there.
This just seems a little bit of alarmism.
I think it's a little premature.
I think it's a little premature.
I think it is. Yeah, I agree. It is a little premature. I think I just don't. Like I said, I still stand. It's going to be a rebuilding year for the Sooners, and
Well, if you're finishing third in the Big 12 in a rebuilding year, you're obviously doing pretty something right. You know?
that's still yet
that's
to
where
be
they
seen,
should
though.
finish.
And that's where they should finish. But once again, I'm not going to be surprised how they play against Baylor and the way they've played against teams of that caliber. That they're just not faring well late in games, and that's something that as this team grows up, but that's why I'm saying that's why I see a lot of room for improvement in this team, and I see that there's a major upside with this team,
right?
So I'm just saying though,
I know what you're saying. They haven't stepped up to the plate against competition
against the teams that they should be beating,
or equally good.
Yeah, they should. They're not playing well against the teams that they should already.
Well, I mean, that's
beating.
kind of always been a little bit of a problem for OU baseball. I mean, sometimes they do have some head-scratcher losses in the past. I mean, that's just kind of the way they go, and that happens in baseball in general. Baseball, there's a lot of parity. Teams can beat other teams on any given day. It's like, just because you have more talent doesn't mean you're going to win.
What do you think's the
especially not in baseball, because when hitters go into slumps, they go into slumps.
What's that, DJ?
What do you think the cause of the parity in baseball is today?
Oh,
I just think how hard it is.
I think a lot of
baseball.
I think college baseball is one of the most intricate sports because you're having to recruit almost daily, it seems like. The way kids go pro straight out of high school and kids going pro after, you get your one and dones in college. I mean, that's why you see a lot of the parity, is you see a lot of inconsistencies, except for, I don't know, maybe teams like Texas who seem to always maintain, but they seem to get players that are in there for the long haul. And,
right, yeah.
And so I mean, that's
but I mean, players have to stay 3 years if they go to college anyway. I mean,
well,
that's
yeah.
the rules,
So that's true, and that's one thing that's been better about it. But I just think a lot of it's just how the recruiting carousel.
Okay.
A lot of it.
And I agree with you on that as well. But I think it's a lot of it's just because of the way baseball is.
As it's designed.
When hitters go into slumps, they're going to go into slumps hard. When a pitcher is off, he's just off. They can't throw. I mean, talent doesn't win in baseball. It's the ultimate team sport, a sport where talent alone can't win you games.
Sure.
All right, I hate to cut you guys off, but we got to move on to the next topic. The next topic is high school baseball. I know you guys are keeping in touch with that. What are some of the games that stuck out to you this week?
I'm going to go ahead and take this one first.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to go 3A first, and I'm going to say Jones. Jones is playing all right right now. They're 4-0 on the year.
Beat some good teams as well.
Beat a couple of decent teams. Still, the schedule hasn't been entirely too tough.
But going out and beating, was it Deer Creek?
No. They haven't beat Deer Creek. They beat Guthrie, who's
right. That's who it was.
And so that's a good win for Jones. And then I'm going to go up, as you mentioned, Deer Creek. I said Deer Creek continues to play well. 6-1 in 5A. They only have one loss in the year, losing 2-1 versus McGinnis, which McGinnis is traditionally a very good 5A team. So Deer Creek is playing very well, but they did beat the number 7 ranked in 6A UConn Millers, and UConn's playing very well. Edmond Santa Fe continues to be on a little bit of they're playing really well right now.
They're beating the teams they should.
Right. After a little bit of Edlum last week, winning 6-4 and 8-1, beating Edmond North.
A team I'm going to point out, we've talked about them earlier on the show, is Norman North. Obviously, their game against UConn got rained out, so that's a wash right now. But they came back, beat Norman High 5-4, and they've been very competitive all season long. This games they have lost have been really close games, and when they're winning, I mean, they've been winning big. So, I mean, I think Norman North is performing showing good progress, in the areas where we thought they needed progress, and they've done a good job so far filling in those losses from last season.
I agree. Norman North did that game against UConn was rained out. But the way, the trend, seeing the upside with
absolutely.
the Timberwolves team, they're playing really well.
They're playing really well.
One thing that I'd like to, comment is about how well Norman High's been playing, though. They are 1-5 on the year. But a couple of those losses have been big losses, but they've been to good ranked teams.
Really good teams, yeah.
But the other ones that they've, they played well against Norman North, and then they've been playing well against some of the other teams.
And
so they're
playing close games, and just not getting those wins in those close games.
Right.
Absolutely.
So Sangerardi's got him on the upside, and Ayler's doing well with what he's got down at Norman North.
Right, absolutely.
Now too,
the Norman teams have a bright future.
Yeah, they sure do.
All righty. Topic number 3, we're going to do a little buy or sell segment. Let's see. The Marlins will be better under Ozzie Smith. Will the Red Sox, are they going to be better under Bobby Valentine, or should the Cardinals have done more to keep Pujols? Which one of those 3 do you think are more significant?
I'll go first. I'll take all 3 of these. First, I'm going to sell.
Okay. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
I'm going to sell the Marlins being better under Ozzie Guillen. He had all that talent in Chicago, won the one World Series, but really outside of that didn't do too much. Plus the Marlins, just outside of Jose Reyes and Josh Johnson, I mean, they lack a lot of talent that other teams have. They play in maybe arguably the toughest division in baseball. I can't see them being much better this year under Ozzie Guillen. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you there.
The Red Sox, I don't know what to do with this one because I don't think they should have fired Francona in the first place. But I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it just because they didn't make the playoffs last season, and I think they will make the playoffs this season because there's just too much talent on that roster to not make the playoffs. And
Pujols.
And I'm going to sell that because I don't think the Cardinals could have done much more. I mean, they pretty much did everything they could have to try and keep Pujols. I mean, how do you not do everything you can to keep Pujols? Sure. I just think it was time. Pujols decided that it was time for him to move on to a team. I mean, he won 2 World Series with St. Louis. And he wanted to go to a bigger market. He's in L.A. now with another good team. I mean, the Angels probably will win that division as well now.
I'm going to buy – okay, I'm going to go off, and I'm going to buy the Marlins are going to be better under Ozzie, and I'm going to say that with the addition of Jose Reyes. I think the Marlins are going to be better, but that's not saying much considering where they were at last year.
Right. Well,
it's a tough division.
It would be tough to,
but there's upside with that Marlins team, and so
watch
Miami
out for Hanley
Marlins.
Ramirez this year. He's gonna have a breakout.
Yep.
Well, how are they doing that? Are they moving Hanley Ramirez to third base now?
Hanley is playing third base.
Okay,
while Jose
that's
Reyes
what I
will
thought.
do
Yeah, they got a couple.
That's interesting. I'd like to see how Hanley Ramirez takes that change from short to third. It should be an interesting.
They've said from camp that he's taking it in stride and he's doing really well.
Yeah, is he doing it pretty well over there?
Yeah, they're playing really well in spring
That'll
ball
be an
right
interesting thing to watch. Is how Hanley Ramirez plays over at third base. I think he's got all the potential in the world over there. He's a really good player, but God, he's got a head on his shoulders.
Sure. Real quick
He's a head case.
Real quick before the break, is their left side of the infield, is that the best in the major leagues?
I don't know if you can say that because Hanley Ramirez just hasn't played the position long enough. He'll have to prove that to me before I can say that.
Sure. Real quick.
Most athletic, I would say yes.
Real quick, I'm going to say but I'm going to say the Marlins are going to be better. Not necessarily due to Ozzie, though, but I think they're going to be better this year. The Red Sox, are they going to be better under Valentine? I'm going to sell that and say, yes, they'll be talented there, but I think Francona was a better manager than Valentine.
I agree with that.
And so I think eventually we'll see the results.
The one thing
of that.
Valentine has done in his career, though, is light fires under players. He's gotten a lot of respect from his players early, by renewing rivalries and stuff like that.
I don't know if he can manage all those egos on that team. We have to go to break. All right, next we have up the High Heat segment, and we're going to talk a little LA Dodgers baseball. Up next on In the Dugout.
Whether you're a weekend warrior or a high school athlete, injuries happen. The physicians at Oklahoma Sports and Orthopedic Institute are ready to help you get back to your game. This team of highly trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine physicians specialize in the prevention and treatment of all sports-related injuries, as well as comprehensive spine care, joint replacement, and fracture care.
Welcome back to ITD. Trevor Rogers, joined by Bobby Rose. Well, that was interesting on the buy or sell thing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No. You're cool. You're completely cool. I don't know. I just still don't necessally. I'm thinking about it, and the more I think about it, I still don't know if I can fully buy the Marlins.
I can't buy the Miami Marlins.
Not even with Josh Johnson healthy all year?
No, because
they're going to be better.
You've got one ace on your staff. I mean, what about the rest of the rotation?
They'll be better, but I don't think they're going to be
They might
great.
be 1 or 2 games better, I would think. I don't think they're going to be much better than 2 or 3 games.
Right. Anyway, DJ.
All right.
What's
Topic
next?
number 4, I promise you some LA Dodgers baseball news, some LA LA Dodgers baseball gossip, if you will. With LA Dodgers being up for sale, it is considered a blockbuster event. I can attest to that. I'm already tired of hearing about all the situations.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
What are some of the biggest MLB purchases / player team acquisitions in history of the sport?
Bobby, go ahead.
I'm going to take A-Rod signing with the Yankees. That was a huge deal when it came out. I mean, it was a huge contract. I think it was maybe the biggest contract in the history of baseball at that point in time. I mean, obviously now Pujols has a bigger contract now with the Angels. But, I mean, at that time, with the way he was playing, the Yankees just coming off those great years in New York, with all the expectations that were placed on Alex Rodriguez, I just don't really see a bigger signing than that in the history of the game, really. I mean,
I'm gonna go with two different things. I'm gonna go with the team acquisition, and I'm gonna go with the player acquisition, and both of them involve my most hated team in Major League Baseball,
the New York Yankees. Yeah.
When the New York Yankees picked up Babe Ruth for $200,000
Wow.
because
The
the
curse
Red
of the
Sox traded him,
Bambino.
so the Red Sox owner could finance his musical No Nanette.
It never gets old.
It
huh?
neand
You're
so
still living the curse, huh? The curse has been broken.
yeah, the curse
Trevor.
has been broken.
Can we let
but
it go?
It's still it kills me. And so that acquisition was huge for the Yankees. Second, I'm going to go when George Steinbrenner bought the New York Yankees. I'd say that was definitely huge for the Yankees.
Right.
He went through a tear in every decade that he owned them, except for through the
Sure went on
majority of the
buying
90s
sprees.
until the end of the 90s. He won a World Series in every decade that he owned them, from the 70s, 80s. Did not win he didn't win until 99. And then
He's won
and then in the
three at
2000s.
least
So
in the 2000s, hasn't
yeah,
he?
so Steinbrenner, I can't, wherever you're watching this today, if you are, I cannot attest that I enjoy your team, but you did a lot for baseball.
He was one of the best owners in the league.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
He is, and he stands
didn't-
out for a
he
reason.
didn't-
So
he didn't
I'd
care
compare
about.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'd compare him to Al Davis. Just win, baby.
yeah, no, I agree.
Although Al Davis,
He might have been
Sure
a little
didn't
nutty.
win.
He did not win.
He
That's
did
a
not
good
win.
point.
No.
Good point.
Steinbrenner didn't care what it took. He didn't care if he was, running a deficit or whatever, as long as his team won. I mean,
as long as the team, he
and
didn't care who he
that's-
fired, who he got mad at.
that's
but-
the way an owner should run a team.
yeah.
is
So
do anything to win.
Steinbrenner, I guess, from a Red Sox fan, this one's for you, man.
I'd have to say
Yankees fans, this is the first. I believe a Red Sox fan has just announced respect for the organization.
I'd go in your backyard, Trevor. The Yankees picking up Roger Clemens. I'd view that.
That
as
was a huge
That was a
pickup.
big one.
acquisition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'd say Lou Brock going to St. Louis from the Cubs for
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
a
big
can
one.
of Coke and a bag of chips.
That's
basically.
one thing. What about when the Yankees picked up Reggie Jackson?
That was a huge one.
That was a
also.
huge.
Yeah.
That was a mid-season acquisition right there.
Right.
He lit it up.
Mr. October.
Mr. October.
Yeah.
But I think I'd leave it at that.
Well, we just mentioned a lot of major acquisitions
yes,
that
we
changed
did.
the face
Yeah.
of the sport.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we're going to take a quick break. I believe we have High Heat coming up, right?
Yeah, we got High
Yes,
Heat.
We have the high
DJ.
heat segments.
DJ, is your arm warmed up?
I might need a few more pitches in the
Okay,
pen.
well,
I'll be ready. I'll
Let's
be
take
ready.
this break, and hopefully you'll be warmed up after, because I'm ready to give Trevor another whooping.
Oh, wow. Some trash talk coming. It's March Madness. Be happy, smile. All right, we'll be right back.
It's Be Relatively Content Thursday as well.
It's no coincidence the Toyota Tundra has received the most dependable large pickup award from J.D. Power and Associates. Not once, not twice, but 6 years in a row. Now that's a statement no other truck can make. The full-size Tundra from Toyota.
Welcome back to ITD. Bobby, you ready for High Heat?
Let's butt heads right here.
Let's do it.
I'm ready to beat you
Are
again.
you guys ready? I don't know if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm definitely
Bring it
ready.
on,
Sure
DJ.
you're ready. Well, we got some I'm going to talk some trades going on right now.
All right.
In either sport.
NBA trade deadline, another thing we forgot to mention.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on in the NFL as well. I'm going to start off with Peyton Manning. Where do you think he will end up in the 2013 season?
I just found out, and I'm sure you were saddened to hear this, that the Kansas City Chiefs are out.
I know, it's makes me a little upset.
I honestly still don't know. Supposedly the 49ers are making a heavy push.
Well, from what I've heard, the Arizona Cardinals, Tennessee Titans, and
I think the Titans would be a great fit.
That would be for it.
And the Broncos are the three favorites right now.
I think that's good.
Those are three pretty solid teams. I don't know, but I mean the Dolphins are pretty much out. They just traded away their best wide receiver. Peyton's definitely not coming there. I think that's probably why they traded him, was they figured out he wasn't going to go. That being said, I think right now the front runner is I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals. Crap. And that's because because of Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the game. He's getting a little older now, but I mean, he's still electric.
He wants a championship.
Right, and he hasn't had a quarterback, to throw in the ball.
Kurt Warner?
But not since Kurt Warner, okay? And that was Kurt Warner past his prime.
I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to give you a different reason why. I'm going to say everyone else is out except for maybe Tennessee, and I'm saying that because
I don't think he'll go to Tennessee because they've been a rival to him for so long.
Possibly, but here's the thing:
Houston's in the mix also.
Houston's also in the mix.
I don't think they're willing to.
I think
give up
ultimately, from
Schaub.
what I think they really do have a lot of faith in Schaub. But I'm gonna throw Denver out because one, I still think that they're a team that's built for the run, and I think that's something that Manning realizes. Two, Manning wants to play in a dome atmosphere. Cold weather with Manning, he has already said that's something that he's not. He just doesn't want to play in. So Denver out. And then I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna say that the wide receiving core and the offensive line that the Cardinals have, that just seems like the most logical fit for
of the teams that he says are his favorite. But that being said, I'm still gonna make this point out there, and I've held this feeling since it happened, that if he went to the Kansas City Chiefs, that would be the best overall fit for him. It's too bad he decided not to go there. They could win a championship right away with a pretty solid defense, a very, very good running game now that Jamal Charles is going to be back. It's just that would have been a great fit for Peyton Manning. It's sad to see him not come there. That being said, I have all the utmost respect for Peyton Manning, and I hope wherever he goes, he does well.
DJ, let's go for a couple more quick ones here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stay in the NFL. Mario Williams just signed a really, really big deal with the Buffalo Bills. What are your thoughts on that? Was he worth every penny, or do you think they're making a mistake?
I think they're making a mistake, but granted, no, actually, I don't. I think that's something that the Bills need. The Bills, for a while, everyone thought, wow, they're really close to making a breakthrough last year, and then they fell off. So, that may be a good pickup for the Bills, and so I think they paid a little too much for him. But no, that's if you want to continue to improve, and the Bills want to get back to where they were in the late '90s
of getting to Super Bowls and
losing, but at least getting to Super Bowls.
Right.
So I guess you got to spend the money, and if that's the direction that they want to go, good pickup for the Bills.
Well, here's the way I see it. I think they did overpay for him a little bit, but he's still one of probably the best 10 defensive ends in the league. Mm-hmm. I mean, and he's young. He's really talented. He's average. I think he's only behind maybe 2 or 3 guys in sacks over his career. I mean, in total sacks since he's been in the league. So, I mean, I think he is worth, I don't think he's quite worth what they paid him. I think he's worth almost what they paid him. And it's obviously fills a need for the Buffalo Bills defensively. They weren't very good defensively, so I think it was a good pickup.
And there wasn't that one of their problems last year was giving up points late in games.
Absolutely.
So good defensive pickup.
All righty, enough with NFL talk. All right, time for some baseball. Over or under Prince Fielder hitting 40 home runs this year?
In that division,
I'll take the over.
I'm
There's not a lot of pitching in that division in the Central. Not a lot of great pitching, I should say.
Outside of the Tigers.
The Royals have some good up-and-coming young arms. That being said, they don't have as much experience. Indians pretty much don't have anything left pitching-wise. The White Sox maybe have one good starting pitcher. And they're always inconsistent down there. The Twins pitching has always been, their Achilles heel. They've always made do, but they don't have any aces like they used to when Santana was there. So yeah, I'm going to take the over on that 40 home runs.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take over, and I'm going to go with the reason being he's not playing in the National League anymore. And I think American League pitching just isn't what the National League is. You look at the Phillies rotation, you look at the Giants rotation. I think the Rangers are going to have a decent rotation. I think the Red Sox are going to have a decent rotation, depending on how Beckett plays this year. But he's on the team with the best starting rotation in baseball this year, and they got Justin Verlander. They got the best pitcher.
In baseball.
And so it's going to be definitely interesting to see how Fielder does
not
in the
having
American
to go
League.
up against
Not having to go.
Verlander.
No, he's not going to have to go up against Verlander. He's not going to have to go up against the Phillies or Lincecum. So
there you have it. To reiterate on the Beckett situation, he better have a good year this year. I drafted him in my fantasy team.
You're already drafting fantasy baseball.
I already am, and I have one Monday.
I need to set up my league.
So
wow.
I'm counting on Beckett. I got him and Lester on my team, by the way.
Good pickup. Smart man.
I thought of you every second I was in the drafts. But we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, they are going to pick my brain a little bit. What do you guys got on deck for me?
He's got weird stuff.
That doesn't shock me.
I'm not gonna tell you what I have on deck for you, DJ, because we're supposed to be surprising you.
No preparation. Okay,
absolutely.
A little pop quiz for me. All right, we are going to take a quick break. Cue the music. Yeah. Oh, no music. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to ITD. It's time for Charge in the Mound. DJ, are you ready?
I was born ready, sir.
All right. This is, like I said, folks, this is a new segment. We're going to be asking questions for DJ. We're going to scale. We're going to give him. We're going to score him.
Grade him on.
We're going to grade him on his answers. He has to have over 16.
If he doesn't get a combined score of 16, he fails the question.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and lead it off here.
I forgot. How did I do last week? I don't.
You passed last week. We took it easy on you last week.
Okay,
this week, new game, new ball game.
We're not gonna be as nice this week as we were last week.
All right. Well,
all right, DJ. I'm gonna go with ballpark food, and I'm gonna go with ballpark hot dogs.
Wow.
DJ, what are the necessities when dressing your ballpark Frank?
Okay, I'm gonna give a little plug to the Chicago Cubs because I've been to Wrigley Field, and that is by far the best hot dog. Borderline the best food I've ever had in my life. The Chicago-style hot dogs.
Okay.
You got to add the cheese. You have to add. It's crucial. Okay.
Yeah.
Crucial to add the cheddar cheese on top, and it's amazing. I had 6 hot dogs once during one game. It was amazing.
What comes on those hot dogs there, DJ?
A lot of the Chicago people they eat relish on it. I don't do any condiments or anything like that. I like just cheddar cheese on it. That's
just the cheese.
Just cheese.
Yeah.
What are you giving him, Trevor? I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna give DJ a 6 on that
6?
because I think if you're gonna go with the Chicago style, you got to go with the relish, the mustard. But the cheese, that was a hard one for me. I agree with you that the cheese is a necessity, and I also agree with you that Wrigley, that's an awesome food venue right there.
I haven't had a Dodger dog yet though.
So Dodger dogs are good. Fenway, Dodger dogs.
Fenway
are good.
Franks are pretty good as well.
That's I've heard. I've still never been to Fenway. I'm a Red Sox fan. Haven't been there.
Here, I'm not going to be as nice as Trevor on you, DJ. I give you a 4, and I'll tell you exactly why. No mustard, no ketchup, and not even any chili or anything with the cheese.
It's a Chicago-style hot dog.
Just cheese.
You can't ruin it.
There's no other toppings on it but cheese.
But listen, there's onions baked, or excuse me, it's sesame seed baked into the bun. It's amazing. You don't want to ruin anything about.
He makes a point.
I'm telling you.
What flavor do
fun.
sesame seeds carry?
Delicious flavor.
I'm
Trust me.
gonna move you up to an 8 actually after that, and that still gives you a 12.
That still
You're under.
fails.
You still fail the question because Bobby over here doesn't understand the importance of the bun.
Is there any extra credit that I could do?
The importance of the bun.
We may be
you
able
can
to add it
answer
back.
this next question for us.
Okay.
Now that Syracuse has Fab Melo out, I think you had Syracuse in the Final Four before Fab Melo was ruled out, right?
No, sir, I didn't. I had them in the Elite Eight, but continue.
Okay. Well, who is your Final Four and who is your national champion?
All right, I have Kentucky. I think they're the most talented team by far.
Right, absolutely.
I have Michigan State. I mean, Tom Izzo, probably, if not the best coach in the tournament. He's one of the best coaches in the tournament. He's in the Sweet 16 every year. No matter how good his team is, he's in the Sweet 16. I took Ohio State to make it to the Final Four. I like Jared Sullinger. He's a solid player. I like Buford too. He can really stroke the ball. And also I have, of course, North Carolina in my Final Four. I think if we play our best, the only team that we couldn't beat would be Kentucky if they played their best. And John Henson, huge question mark. And P.J. Harrison, if he doesn't hit the three-point jumper, we are in trouble because a lot relies on him hitting the three-point jumper.
Okay, that's a pretty good answer. I don't know if I necessarily agree with you about Michigan State, and I'll tell you why. It's because they have Missouri in their bracket. Obviously, Missouri is very good. Arguably should have been the number 1 seed instead of Michigan State. I like your Ohio State pick. Who's the 1 seed in that bracket? Do you guys know?
That's the Syracuse.
That's the Syracuse.
Yeah, okay, that's not a bad pick. I think I took... That's not a bad pick. I might have taken Ohio State out of the bracket. I'm not positive. I don't really remember off the top of my head. So I agree with about 3 out of 4 of your teams. So I'm going to give you a 7.5.
7.5.
That's
7.5.
That's a first in the dugout history, giving a half point.
Yeah,
Trevor,
point.
I need an 8.5.
I'm gonna give you a 10 because you gave a shout out to Michigan State and to Tom Izzo.
Right, we
Huge
know
Tom Izzo fan. I don't understand how you're taking Ohio State and and instead of Michigan State when Michigan State won that conference tournament and beat
They don't
Ohio.
play in the same bracket, do they? Do Ohio State and Michigan State play in the same bracket?
No, I'm just saying.
Right. With Syracuse as weak as they are right now, I think Ohio State is in a much better position out of that bracket because that bracket is so much weaker now.
You think Michigan State is really better than Missouri? Or Missouri is really better than Michigan State?
They play a very similar style, and I think Missouri scores a lot more points. I do absolutely think Missouri is better than Michigan State.
No. Points for mentioning Izzo.
You're right. Okay, well, guys, now we all know that Trevor is a secret lover of Michigan State. So now anything he says is going to be called into question in the future.
That's okay. Hold the phone. I just like Tom Izzo.
They really do have a solid team.
they have a good
I'm
team.
not going to argue with you. Tom Izzo is a great coach, but I just
I'm
think
not even
Missouri
really
is
a Michigan
special.
State fan.
I just think Missouri is a special.
I think they
team
are
this
special.
year,
I have
and
them in
I
a
think
couple
they
of my
got
Final
slighted, and I think they're going to play with the chip on their shoulder, and they will beat Michigan State because I do think they are a better team.
I think Missouri is one of those teams, if they play their best, they can beat anybody in the country. But if they don't play up to their potential, I think anybody in the country
The
can
good
beat
thing
them.
for Missouri is that they've played very consistently this year, and guard play is the most important thing in the tournament, and that's where they're the strongest. So I think Missouri comes out of that bracket. But Trevor, what's your next question?
I got one more question for DJ. DJ, where is the best place to sit when you're at the ballpark watching a pro baseball game?
I would.
There is a science behind this, and if he answers,
Okay. If you're at Wrigley, you got to watch it in the bleachers. I know I keep going back to Wrigley, but it was a nice experience. But in Wrigley, you got to watch them in the bleachers. I think anywhere else, I'd rather be behind the plate just because I'd love to see the pitch rotation, how much the ball breaks. I'd like to see that from behind the plate.
I agree with you completely there. However, there is some other places where it's good to sit out in the bleachers. The College World Series always sit in general admission.
Rosenblatt, okay.
Always sit in general admission when you go to the College World Series.
I think we're gonna try to make a trip to that if we can.
Well, I always go every year.
I'm gonna try to go.
I'm gonna try to go for
this year.
opening weekend like usual.
Yeah.
And DJ, because I agree with you, I'm giving you a 9.
Yes.
I'm going to give you an 8 on that, DJ. I agree. I wish you would have mentioned either first or third base dugout. That's always a good position to be in. I think it's fun watching the play develop, especially when you know they're throwing the ball especially right behind first base. You see the ball coming right at you, and you get to see the timing of if the guy beat out the throw or and I got to enjoy that when I was at Petco. I was literally 10 rows from first base. It's awesome. It's the best seats I've ever had at a baseball game. But I think next week I'm gonna get the best seats I've ever had at a baseball game.
Pretty close.
Oh, right on the field.
I got field access, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since he went ahead and plugged himself, let me go ahead and tell you what Trevor's going to be doing next week while me and Bobby are sweating here.
Yeah, we'll be here in studio working.
Trevor is going to Arizona, is that right?
Florida. He's going to be,
Florida.
of course, no one ever covers the Cactus League. I mean, come on, let's be honest. There's no good teams out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Rangers.
The Royals as well.
Covering Pittsburgh.
The Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, wish him luck with that.
Right. He'll be joining us next week, actually.
I will be the guest.
Hopefully via Skype.
Live footage.
If not via Skype, it'll just be on the phone, like usual.
Yeah.
I'm not calling him. I can't afford that on my bill right now. Bobby, you going to take care of it?
Right. The last question, okay? This is the last question before we have to, finish the show up here. Now that the trade deadline is passed in the NBA, okay? The trade deadline is passed. Now we've seen what the final rosters for this year's teams are going to be. Who will play in the NBA Finals, and who is going to be your NBA champion?
Okay. I think the East, there's 2 elite teams in the East. I think it's the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. I like Chicago. They play hard.
Whoa!
Well, no. Hold on. Let me finish. I like how Chicago plays. They play good defense. They rebound. They play hard. They share the ball better than any team in the league, I believe. And I like them.
I don't know about that. Miami shares the ball pretty well.
Nah, I don't think they shared as good as a team. I don't think they shared as good as Chicago. But with that being said, I'd take Miami in a 7-game series against Chicago.
Okay.
So I'll take Miami in the East.
I agree with you there.
And going to the West, I would take the Oklahoma City Thunder just because the talent, and I think we've gotten better each year we've been here.
Yeah,
right.
I think they're ready to take that step.
Safe. Yeah, that's a pretty safe pick.
That's a safe pick. That's what most people are going with.
It's not outside the box or anything like that.
No, right. I think
that's how I truly feel.
Okay, and who's your finals champion?
I said that Oklahoma City was ready to take the step to the finals. I don't think they're ready to win the finals yet. And I think Miami, they have a little extra oomph in them to win one after what they went through last year. So I'm going to take Miami. Miami in 6.
In 6.
LeBron wins the MVP.
LeBron wins his first championship as well.
And the MVP.
Okay, that's a bold prediction on his MVP. Well, it's not really a bold prediction. I guess he is the best player in basketball. And I agree with you there, although I do think that it all depends on who has home court advantage. I think if the Thunder have home court advantage, I think the Miami will win in 7. Then
Miami in 7? Okay.
Yeah, because then,
I think Oklahoma City is going to be just as equally motivated, though, because the way they finished against the Mavericks last year. I know that was Western Conference, and, a lot of people put the incentive on just getting to the championship. I think that they really have that drive to finally prove it wrong to people. So I think Oklahoma City wins it in 7 against Miami because, one, I'm still not confident.
Wow.
I don't think LeBron is going to be able to finish. That's been his criticism all his career.
But he's got D Wade, who is a fantastic finisher in.
And I don't like that matchup between D Wade and Westbrook.
Well, D Wade wouldn't be on Westbrook. He would be on either Harden or Cephalosha. Probably
true.
Cephalosha in late game minutes, I'm sure.
That's true. So, I mean, it's just going to be interesting. So,
and Westbrook would abuse whoever they're running at point. Chalmers. I mean, Chalmers is a pretty good. Chalmers is a pretty good defensive point guard, but Westbrook is too athletic for Chalmers. I mean, it would be an interesting matchup. You'd have the 2 best small forwards in the league, arguably one of the best 5-point guards in the league. You'd have so many of the top 10 players on the floor. It'd be a great series. I think we're both giving you 8s. You passed 3 of 4 this week.
That's pretty good.
You did admirably.
Yep. You handled it well. I guess let's go ahead.
We have one more thing to do before we end the show.
Let's just go ahead and wrap it up real quick.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and make our bold predictions
before the Major League Baseball
MLB
season.
season starts up.
You go first, Trevor.
Okay. I was actually going to go ahead and push it off to DJ and say, DJ, what is your bold prediction?
That's fine. DJ, go first.
I'm going to take Cincinnati in the NL Central. I like their pitching staff. Johnny Cueto, I think he's underrated. I like Johnny Votto, one of the best hitters in the league. I think they have a nice lineup. Brandon Phillips, he's one of the elite second basemen. So I'm going to take Cincinnati in NL Central.
Cincinnati to win the NL Central. Write that down. We're going to hold him to that. That is a great. I like that prediction. Trevor, what do you have?
I'm going to go out and I'm going to say the LA Dodgers win the World Series.
Whoa, that is
bold prediction.
Well, since that flies in the face of everything you said a couple weeks ago.
Hey, it was good.
You didn't think the Dodgers
Spence
were even going to make
it was for good TV. It was just for debate. I think, especially after I'm watching the improvement in the spring, they need to make some moves before the deadline. You know, Greg Spencer brought up to me the other day. You know, it's amazing with everything that was going on, how they still finished above 500 last year and how bad of a situation they were really in.
Yeah.
They're going to be pretty freaking good in that division. It's not a
They've
great
got a
division.
lot of talent.
So I'm going to say they could shock a lot of people and win the World Series.
Win the World Series. Okay.
First one since the 1980s. So
okay, the win the World Series. We're going to keep that in mind. Mine is the Kansas City Royals will finish second in the division and will not finish below third. They absolutely will not finish below third in the division. No chance. That's my prediction.
that's fair.
Right now.
That's fair.
Wow.
It's tough to it's pretty tough division. But
Next week, Trevor, like we said, will be in Florida covering the Grapefruit League, I believe.
Grapefruit League with
Grapefruit
the,
League with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He'll join us on the show. Me and DJ will be in here in studio like always.
Any chance you'll get down to Disney World and cover the Braves for me?
I'm gonna try. I would love to. It just depends on if we have time. I'd love to get down to. I actually don't even think the Braves are home while I'm there though.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure we looked at that. No, I'm gonna Skype in on the show. Eric Fryer, who was a member of the Sun Belt Classic, which is now the Heartland Classic a few years ago, for Team Ohio. I'm gonna get to sit down and enjoy and have a conversation with him live from Bradenton, Florida, the home of the Pittsburgh Pirates for spring. I'm gonna try to get with Daniel McCutcheon, who's an Oklahoma Sooners guy.
Absolutely.
And get some great footage. I'm going to have a little segment, just everything that's going on. I'm going to be everywhere. I'm going to be in the press box. I'm going to be on field. It's going to be really interesting because I'm going to give some insight, a journalist perspective and what actually goes on at spring training, outside of just playing the games and stuff. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. You're going to be on vacation. We'll be here. Working like always, DJ.
I'm still working on my vacation, so be careful.
It must be so hard to work out there in beautiful Florida.
Hey, this is why we're journalists.
We'll probably have a day, right? We'll probably have a day that's really nice here, and then it'll rain for the other 4.
And
for our spring break.
For you March Madness watchers, I know there are very so few of you out there. UNC Asheville is within 2 points of Syracuse with just above 9 minutes to play.
Oh, Syracuse is now taking the lead
by 2.
Last time I saw, UNC was still up by 3. Yeah. So Syracuse is playing pretty well right now.
They're not called an UNC. There's only one.
Sorry.
There's only one UNC. All right. BYU, they are beating Marquette by 7 with 2 minutes left.
BYU is now up on Marquette?
Yes, sir. Or excuse me. I read that wrong. Marquette is up 81-68. I apologize.
Yeah, that's right.
I apologize for that. Bandy, they are beating Harvard. That one just got underway. And that's it for right now.
Well, you know what?
It'll be interesting to see because when the show actually airs tonight on our YouTube channel, what actually happened to those final scores.
Right. So far, my bracket is looking great today. Those games are all going my way right now.
Obviously,
except for Syracuse. Yeah, that game is a little too close for comfort. I guess that that'll end the show probably. Any final thoughts, Trevor, DJ?
That's just it.
Just make sure you tune in next week.
Check us out. Start following at Trevor R -RZ Preps.
Bobby Rose Z-Preps as well.
Check us out. If you got a question or need something on the show, just hashtag ITD. We'll get that going. And we'd love to have you guys just keep following us and check out our YouTube channel, In the Dugout. Okay.
Watch the Shockers tonight beat VCU. Woo Shock. I'm from Wichita. I love the Shockers. And also Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
In that case, I
think
I'll
that'll be
see you from Florida next week, and you guys have fun.
Yeah, we'll see you next week,
see the
guys.
funny
Enjoy
papers.
it. We'll
Yeah.
see you next week.